Hello out there, good to see you again. It's been a long time since I posted my first video. As I planned, I'm gonna give you English lesson, but before the class, I'm gonna talk about two things. There are two things you need to consider before taking my class. One of them is that, as I said earlier in the first video, English is my second language, so that is why I couldn't speak English like native speakers well. So I sometimes make mistakes, and I from time to time keep saying same expressions over and over again. So you need to understand the lag of my English, and you need to be generous with the mistakes I make. And that is the first thing. And the other thing I want to talk about before the class is that this class is only for just solving the problems that are related to just grammatical point. So if your goal is to achieve your fluency of English, then you need to take another way of acquiring the language. This class is only for solving English grammar problems and questions. So you need to just keep and have keep two things in mind. And then if you're ready to take my class, then let's get started. Today we are going to talk about subject and verb agreement. There are a few things that are really confusing, so I'm going to talk about three things that are really confusing. When the subject is close to the verb, then it's really easy to find out the correct form of the verb. Look at this. When the subject and the verb close together, a boy is, the two students are, the teachers are. Like this, the subject and the verb close together, then we can easily find out and pick out the correct form of the verb. But when the subject is situated far from the verb, it might be confusing. So look at this carefully. The girl composing many songs, blah, 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 blah. In this kind of case, you might be mistaken to believe songs is a subject, but it is not. So I'm going to talk about why just the songs is not a subject. I'm going to write it down on the board, so look at this carefully. At the beginning of the sentence, we have subject, and after subject comes verb. But there might be modifier between subject and the verb. So you need to memorize 9 things of a modifier. No matter what kind of situation you are, you have to memorize those 9 things. Number 1, verb ing, blah, blah. Number 2, verb ed, blah, blah. Number 3, to verb, blah, blah. Number 4, preposition plus noun. Preposition plus noun. Number 5, apposition that plus complete sentence. Number 6, a relative adverb such as why, where, when, plus complete sentence. And number 7, relative pronoun such as who, whom, which, that, plus incomplete sentence. You need to omit either subject or object. You need to get rid of either subject or object. Incomplete sentence. Number 8, comma, comma. Number 9, adjective, blah, blah. You have to memorize those 9 things of modifier. Like this, modifier might be situated between subject and the verb. So once again, 9 things you have to memorize. Number 1, present participle. Number 2, past participle. For irregular verb, you have to memorize them respectively. Number 3, infinitive. Number 4, preposition plus noun. Number 5, apposition that plus complete sentence. Number 6, relative adverb plus complete sentence. Number 7, relative pronoun plus incomplete sentence. You need to get rid of either subject or object. And number 8, comma, comma, double commas. Number 9, adjective, blah, blah. All you have to do is to get rid of modifier when it comes to talking about subject and the verb agreement. So you have to get rid of, remove this modifier. Look at this. The girl composing many songs, blah, blah. In this kind of case, the girl is subject and the modifier, composing. All you have to do is just get rid of modifier. You have to get rid of verb ing. Then you can make the situation simple and easy. The girl is. The correct answer is. Next question. The apples is subject and preposition plus noun. Preposition plus noun, you have to get rid of it. Then the apples are, like this. Tom is subject and comma, comma, we have to get rid of modifier between subject and the verb. So one of my friends get rid of it in order to make the situation simple. Then Tom is. The woman is subject. Who likes dogs is just a relative pronoun. So we have to get rid of as the modifier. Then the woman is. Like this, you can find out just correct form of the verb really easily. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Then let's move on to second key point of the class. How about having 1% as a subject? Is this singular or plural? Or how about 5%? Is this singular or plural? How about 99%? Is this singular or plural? How about fraction? Half. Is this singular or plural? 1/3. Is this singular or plural? 2/5. Is this singular or plural? There are 6 more things you have to memorize. Most, some, all, part, the rest, the last one, the majority. Plus of noun. When you see this pattern in the place of the subject, you have to focus on this noun when it comes to talking about subject and the verb agreement. I mean, these 8 things you have to memorize: percentage, fraction, most, some, all, part, the rest, majority. These things have nothing to do with the verb. These things have nothing to do with the verb. You have to focus on this noun. You have to concentrate on this noun. So this noun is singular, then verb is. This noun is plural, then the verb is are. Let's solve some examples. %% of the people half of the water. Most of the population. As I said earlier, when you see this pattern in the place of the subject, then you have to focus on this noun when it comes to talking about agreement. So, percentage, half, most. Percentage, half, most. In this kind of case, we have to focus on this noun. So, people. So the correct answer is people are. Half of the water. Half. Then we have to focus on this noun. The water is. Most of the population. Population is. Like this, when you see this pattern as in the place of the subject, we have to focus on this noun. So you have to memorize these 8 things. Once again, percentage, fraction, most, some, all, part, the rest, majority. You have to memorize those 8 things. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Then just let's move on to the third key point I want to talk about. Do you know the difference between a number and the number? A number and the number. Do you know the difference between these 2 expressions? A number of people, the number of students. The number of students. Is, are. In this kind of case, a number means many. A number means many. So many students. A number of students means many students. So many students are. So correct answer is are. So you need to just pick out the verb really easily. But in this kind of case, of is preposition. Of is preposition and students is a noun. So preposition plus noun means adverb. So adverb cannot be the subject. So in this kind of case, the number is subject. So the number is singular. So that is why The correct answer is is. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So we are gonna talk. We just talk about just three key points that are really confusing. So this is all for. This is all I got for today's class. So it's time to wrap it up. So see you next time. Bye bye.